Hi everyone. So I'm here today to talk about the ascension itself and that process and what it's going to look like, what I've been shown. So I know a lot of people have talked about this, but I want to share what my guides have been bringing through for me. We're going to talk about the solar event or the flash. We're going to talk about going to New Earth. They're touching back in on the waves of ascension to New Earth, and there's more information about that and what that looks like. It feels like when this process gets initiated, that's what they want to start talking about, what this energy is going to look like, what the Earth is going to feel or look like, and just this whole process of the actual ascension. So let's dive in and see what they have to say, because there's some really cool information here, and I think it's really good to kind of just know and understand, from different perspectives, what this may entail for us.
Do you feel the light? Do you feel the light? Do you feel the light coming? Do you feel the light? Do you feel the light? Do you feel the light coming? Do you feel the light? Do you feel the light? Do you feel the light?
Okay, so first and foremost, I just want to say thank you to everyone who has donated to my channel, and from my last video, or videos, I guess. I appreciate you so much, so thank you so much for your contributions. I also want to mention that I'm building a library of information, and if you would like to join me as I build this library of information, you can. This is going to touch in on our souls history, the history of our universe, the energetic systems and the interworkings of it, and just knowing more about like who we are as energetic beings and the places, the things that we have done and gone to and lived before coming into this lifetime, and how all of this works as like a universal system. So if you want to join me for that, you can. Registration is open for, it's a membership. It's called Soul History. And there's a lot of great information that I feel I'm bringing through and I'm going to bring through. So if you want to join for that, that link is below. We also have live events in this membership. We do live group meditations. There's live conversation. I do a live Q&A. And then I'm also present in the community to communicate with you all. And I am also celebrating my 2 years of being on YouTube. I've had this channel now for just about 2 years. I think I dropped my first video around September 26th or something like that. So I'm celebrating. So I'm offering 20% off on all of my courses inside Quantum Soul Academy for the next few weeks until September 26th to celebrate. So if you would like, you can get 20% off, and you can check those links below as well. All right, so let's dive into the messages for today. So the first thing the guides are bringing forward or have been talking to me about is this solar event or this flash, whatever you want to call it. So I just want to talk to you about how I see it. So the flash, to me, I just want to say this first and foremost. The flash and going to New Earth are two separate events. So the flash is this collective event that is supposedly going to happen. And the way I see it is, it's as if the sun gets really bright, and I see this like huge beam coming off the sun, and it goes into our heart space. And I think a lot of us might have to just like lay down where we are, or just rest, and this process will begin to happen. It feels like all this light goes into our heart, and it starts rewiring and activating the consciousness of the heart. So this is going to happen for people who have been doing this work and are on this awakening path, and for people who are not on it. But the people who have been doing all of this clearing and this inner work and releasing things, I really feel like this is going to be a beautiful process. They're making me feel like it will be us experiencing so much love within our body, and so much more of who we are, and all of that energy and just this knowingness coming on board inside of us as this light enters and like recalibrates us to operate from the heart. It feels like it's going to be so beautiful. Some of us might cry during it and feel all this emotion and love for who we are. I almost feel like there's going to be warming sensations in our bodies, and we're going to know what it is. So we're going to like lie down and just kind of receive it. I don't feel like it's a super long process. It might be, you know, like 2 minutes or something. I don't know, but it doesn't feel like it's a super long process. But long enough to have it be an experience. So they're telling me that as this happens, the people who haven't been on this awakening path, it's going to happen as a collective event. So they're still maybe on this ascension timeline, but they have not gone through their awakening. And what this is going to feel like is a lot of intensity, I think. So it's beautiful intensity for some people, and it's going to feel like unknown, what is happening type of intensity for others. And I feel like because they haven't done this clearing work, some people might think that they're having a heart attack. It might feel like there's some sort of, you know, illness or something that's like going on in the body, and they kind of won't know. I almost feel like there could be nausea. They might experience fatigue afterwards, and they might start having all of these body issues or body sensations after the flash or the event, because it's like the heart is opening, but there's still all this crap over top of it that they've never looked at. So it's going to start pushing out into the body, and the body's going to start letting them know this is here. So this is why I feel like it's also so important that we are going through an ascension in the body, because the body is working with us as we move through this process. We're using the body as a tool to inform us. So if you've been going through your awakening and you've been dealing with a lot of health stuff, I know I have a lot of my awakening has happened through health issues for many years, unfortunately. And it is my body telling me about the things that I'm still holding so that I can release them. And I've witnessed my health shift and ebb and flow over the years. So the body is really, really informing us. And you may notice that when we have flares or, you know, geomagnetic storms, things like that hitting, you may notice like, oh, my body's feeling more fatigued. I need to rest more. It's going through these fluctuations and these transmutations and all this stuff. So these body issues are going to come up. And I also feel like the people who aren't yet on this awakening path are going to feel a lot of emotional things and trauma coming to the surface. And they're going to need to reach out to people like you and I who have a little bit more experience with this process and this awakening. And they're going to seek healers and intuitives, guides, coaches, people who can help them understand what they need to release, how to do it, how to heal, and how to expand their consciousness. So this is where we want to look again at the waves to new earth. So if you are just watching me for the first time, this is kind of one of the first big messages I actually shared on my YouTube is about the waves to new earth. And it feels like the waves are also happening in waves. So it feels like the waves went through a wave of connecting to this consciousness and holding it, understanding what it is. And it feels like this first and the second wave have been in this like new earth consciousness for a while, for like probably several years. And they've been holding this for these third and fourth waves to really step into as well. It doesn't mean that they have to do anything. They could be healers. They could be guides of some sort. They may not, but they're just holding this, and they might be these weirdos who have talked about 5D and New Earth for like decades maybe, and they're just like, whatever, I'm that weirdo, and they don't really care. But they've probably been holding this consciousness for a long time and also releasing their own stuff as they move into it more and more. So it feels like when the flash is about to happen, it feels like there's this window of 2 to 3 months prior to it. And they're telling me that before the flash, some of these first wave people will go to New Earth. It feels like their role will start to come to an end here on this version of Earth. I kind of feel like these first wave people will probably feel really ready and are probably getting to feel really ready of, I'm making peace with this version of the planet. I've kind of experienced and done everything I need to here. It's not a form of animosity like, oh, I'm so ready to leave or get me out of here. That's not the feeling at all that I have for these first wave people. It feels like they feel this calling towards home. It's almost as if you have done a job for so many years and you want to retire, and you're just looking forward. You're grateful for the job. You love the people there, the experiences that you've had, good and bad. But now you're ready to kind of just go to this next stage of life. And that's what it feels like with these first wave people. They've been holding this energy for so long for us. And when the guides showed me this, it's like making me emotional again. I had so much gratitude in my heart for these people. It's like we couldn't have done any of this without you if you hadn't stepped in and agreed to like be this weirdo and hold this space. And it feels like a lot of them will leave right before the flash. They don't have to experience it. I almost feel as though they'll get a version of it. I know my guides have told me this year that we're receiving like some mini flashes, and I think that's going to continue. They get some mini flashes, and it feels like the first wavers are getting what they need from those flashes to ascend to the new earth. So some of them will leave before, it feels like, and then as the flash happens, I see that some of them will leave during it, or right after, so maybe up to a month after. So it feels like there's just this open window when the first wave is going to go. So they have to go to New Earth first because they're going to be holding that energy there for us as well. And when the other waves go, they're going to be there to greet us. They're going to help us understand, just like they did here. So their role doesn't shift too much, but it gets a little better because they're going to be in New Earth. And they get to greet us and help us acclimate to that space. It's a really beautiful role. And again, I have so much gratitude for these first and second wavers. So it feels like after this flash takes place, there's another window that opens for these second wavers. It feels like they're going to hang around for several months just to make sure everything feels good. They're kind of anchoring a lot of this consciousness into the planet, and helping these third wavers really step into this role to now really create the actual like bridge to New Earth. So these second wavers are just kind of like being energetic guides, and they're kind of like the new leaders on the planet, but I feel like they're now preparing their energy to go to New Earth, but also help setting the energy here on the old Earth. So they might act as guides a little bit, but I kind of feel like there's a little more peace and a little bit more stepping back in their energy instead of being directly in the forefront. And it feels like a window opens for them, and then after about several months they might decide to go to New Earth as well. So going to New Earth to me feels like kind of an individual choice when you're ready to go, but I also think your soul has chosen which wave you're supposed to be in. So it feels like a window opens and you have this time frame, and there's this individual experience of going to it. When I ask about what is it like to go to New Earth, I'm shown that we're going to connect more and more with the energy of the New Earth itself. They're saying the more we kind of get into our heart space and envision it and see what life is like there, just like we would manifest, if we want a new car and we envision ourselves in that new car and what it feels like, we're just asking our heart to show us and take us to this place of New Earth, and we keep calling it in and pulling it in, and we get to experience it in our mind's eye and in this like memory in our body that our soul brings forward or our heart brings forward. And it feels like the more we keep doing that and keep clearing things out of the way that might be, blocking us from going, any fears or anything like that, the closer we get to it. And it feels as if you'll be in this state of readiness for a few months. Like I said about the first wavers, there's this peace. I've had my experience here. It was lovely. It was horrible at some points, but it was the experience it needed it to be. And now I'm ready to go. And it feels as if you'll be in this readiness for a while, and you won't really know when it's going to happen, but it feels like at some point you'll get this desire to just close your eyes and tune in with New Earth. And when you envision it, you might feel this lifting a little bit, and it's like I'm seeing this short tunnel that you go through, and then all of a sudden I feel like you like move through this, how do I put it, layer almost. And when you open your eyes, you'll be in the new earth. So it's like manifesting. And I feel like this is a much easier process and it's quicker. It might be like 20 seconds and it's just like boom. And all of a sudden you're in that new planet, but you've been pulling that energy in more and more and more to your reality. So it feels super easy to get there and to do. Okay, so let's talk about the third and fourth waves. So these are the people that are going to need to help those that have gone through this solar experience or event that are like probably freaking out. They're in a ton of confusion. They're probably in maybe a lot of anger at the world and things like that, because I feel as though with all of this light hitting our bodies and the planet, it's going to bring light to a lot of stuff that's been happening or that's been hidden from us. There's going to be a lot of disclosure. There's going to be a lot of confusion of what's happening inside people's bodies. So the third and the fourth wave are here to help those people, to help them understand what's happening, to help them step into this higher consciousness and anchor into it. They're here to be those leaders, the healers, the teachers. And it feels like the third wave is also here to help like almost train the fourth a little bit more, to have them step into that leadership role, because they're going to take the third wave's place when the third wave goes to New Earth. And vice versa. Then the fifth wave will take the fourth's place. So they're telling me that like one wave can't leave until the next one is ready to step into their position or their place. So the third and the fourth, again, are creating this bridge through helping people understand this is the consciousness we're stepping into and bringing them into that consciousness. It feels like after the first and second waves go to New Earth, the third one might go like about 1.5 to 2 years after that. I think a window opens again. There's this readiness that happens in their bodies. And then they have the choice when they would like to go to New Earth and ascend to it. I do think New Earth is a new place, a new planet. I don't know if there are that many people there. And it feels just lush and beautiful and a completely new experience. Okay, so these fifth and sixth wave people are going to be completely removing any of the ties to the old earth and these lower energies. So they're going to be collapsing systems, calling things out. They are going to be in more of this chaos. I mean, it's already stirring, but it feels like there's, they have a big role to like collapse these old systems from the old earth, so that they are not attached to them, so that nobody is attached to them anymore and they can't have a hold over us. So one of the things they're telling me that will happen after this solar event or flash is we're going to be existing almost on, it's almost like two planets exist in one. Okay, so if you've followed me for a little while, you've probably also seen a video where I talk about how the earth is shedding. And that's kind of how I see it. I feel like the new earth almost exists within the old earth. So if this is the new earth, the blue circle, and then this is the old one, but it's almost like we'll both be, after the flash, like we're all going to be existing on this same planet, but it's like 2 in 1. The way my guides have explained it is it's almost like a two-way mirror. So those that have gone into the fifth dimensional consciousness but are still existing on this earth, they can see everybody else, but those that are still kind of on this this lower earth or the old earth, they can't necessarily see the people that are in the 5D consciousness. They'd have to raise their frequency a little bit, or even this curiosity of there's got to be something else or something more. They might shift in and out of that energy a little bit. So if they were desiring, I want to heal this, I know there's something here more than just taking a pill or stretching. It's like, I want to heal this. There's something deeper. When they have that thought, then they're going to be able to see some of these third and fourth wave people. So the two-way mirror, they're saying, is, you know, if you think about like an interrogation room and there's that two-way mirror, the people on the other side who are watching the interrogation happen are these or like the first through fourth wave people, and they can look through the mirror and see the other people. But if the people on the other side of the mirror were to turn around, they're only going to see the mirror. They'll just see themselves and they won't even notice who's beyond it. But if they got super close to the mirror and like put their hands up on it and looked through, then they could see the other people on the other side. So getting close to the mirror and putting your hands on it is representing I'm stepping into a higher frequency or higher consciousness that's closer to the consciousness or frequency that the other people are in. So you might feel like you don't get noticed. Nobody sees you. They were kind of showing me like a big event, like a concert or something that people are at. And it's like some people are in one consciousness, other people are in another consciousness, or one people are on the old earth, some people are in the consciousness of the new earth, and it's just existing in the same realm, but one group of people can't see the others because they're in that lower consciousness. So we have to like hold this energy and this consciousness in our bodies so that people can access it. We're vibrating it out and they'll be able to sense it and know there's something more. And because this thing has gotten awakened in their bodies from the event. So it's kind of like this muddiness a little bit. But once we feel that our job and our role has come to its completion, or we've done what we needed, then we'll step into this readiness of, okay, I'm ready to go to New Earth and pass the torch to this next wave that's supposed to be in the leadership role. So the other thing that's making this really confusing is kind of these two timelines. And I'm going to draw this. You've heard me talk about these two like dominant timelines. I'm going to use the same colors. So, okay. I don't know if I'm great at drawing straight lines, but it's all right. Maybe they're not straight. So there's these two timelines. We have the lower one and the higher one. And what's happening is this is kind of a mimicry timeline. The lower energies, you could call it the dark, whatever you want to say, they're creating mimicries of things that will happen on the higher timeline. So it might be like a false alien invasion. It might be technology that is going to be benevolently used, but it's not benevolent on this timeline. So it's mimicking things that we would receive on this higher timeline to make people think that this is a good thing. So we live in duality. So there's a lot of mimicry. I saw this video the other day. So someone was talking about 3I Atlas, which is this comet, or they say it's a comet coming into our orbit or atmosphere. And they were saying that there's two of them. And I was like, oh, it's the timelines. One goes with the higher one and one goes with the lower. And it feels like this lower timeline is just creating things to keep the confusion. They want everyone to be, layered with all of this confusion. And so it feels like when the solar event comes, your light's going to want to shine out so much more bright, and you're going to have to clear all of this confusion and how you've given your power away, all that stuff, if you haven't been doing that work already. I mean, this lower timeline's also doing other fun things where it's looping people back and it's drawing people into a whole different timeline in reality. So it's doing a lot of fun stuff. It's trying to confuse and grab people. But it's also creating this mimicry. So I just want to address this because I can feel everyone or a lot of people, and this is the biggest question, when is this going to happen? And the guides are here to say they want you to let go of the when. Just like with manifestation, if we're sitting there being like, it needs to happen on this date, when am I going to get it? It's never going to come. We have to let go of that energy. And they're saying, when we suspend into the space of not when, but it is. And they've talked before about how we can connect in with the energy of all of this happening so that we can feel held and safe and knowing that this is the process. It feels like there have been years or times where it's felt like, okay, we may do it this year. And then it feels like we can grab more people. We can have more people awaken and more people have an easier process of this, or step in and be willing to go in onto this ascension timeline. So I feel like they've been waiting to see how many people we can get so we can have as many as possible. While this is a collective experience, it is an individual experience, but at the same time, It's not just about us as individuals. It's about us as a whole. And if we got to wait just a little longer so more people could join us, how amazing is that? But if we got to go tomorrow, that's amazing as well. And knowing that our soul came here so that we could do this grand event and ascension together, and that's what we want to hold in our hearts. We have to let go of needing this to save us. If I were to be like, this is the date, and then it didn't happen, or this is the date, and then it did happen, and you're just banking on this thing happening instead of doing the work that we feel called to right now, then it's not going to be the process we think that it will be, and it may not go the way we want it. So this is about us continuing to step in and move into deeper parts of us up until this point. That's what pulls it forward. That's what creates more of it as well. I myself am not exempt from this process. I have something pretty major that I'm moving through healing right now and stepping into more of my safety and in my heart space. It's been a journey for me, but I'm not avoiding it. I'm not sitting here saying, well, hopefully this will happen soon and that'll fix all of this for me. I'm fixing it now. And that's what that energy is asking of us, to continuously step into our power and face these things within us so that when these things happen, we're able to be not drawn into this confusion like some of these other people will be who haven't been doing this deeper work. So we'll keep doing the work, keep the deeper clearing, keep the, following our excitement. If you're feeling called to bring something forward right now, to help people, do it. It's taking this action of stepping into more of you and more of you and more of you, because we're putting things into place so that when this moment, this time arrives, we have this offering to bring to the rest of humanity and people who may be struggling. So just remember, we're connecting in with higher dimensional realms and higher dimensional beings that do not exist in time. This linear time that we know of, it doesn't exist for them. So we kind of have to suspend into that space too, because when we go into the new earth and the fifth dimension, time is not going to be like it is here. It's going to be very, very different. And so by letting go of this win and letting go of this timing of it, we're becoming higher dimensional. And that's what the guides are encouraging us to do, to keep moving forward, knowing it is and it will. And perhaps it already has at some place in time. And just stepping in and holding that knowingness in our body and keep moving forward with where we're being called. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being here and listening. If you've received similar messages or anything, be sure to leave a comment. And if you want to join me inside Soul History for the membership as I build this library of information for us to access, you also get to tune in and receive your own insights. So it's really fun because we get to receive the puzzle pieces for each other. So I may see things one way and you may see some other parts of it. And we get to start kind of creating this information and history of our existence and our energy and, historical places that we've lived in higher dimensions and things like that. So if you want to join me there, that'd be super fun. And if you're interested in opening your intuition or learning more about your soul mission or learning to channel, things like that, then on the courses as well are 20% off until September 26th. Okay. All right, you guys, have an amazing rest of your week and I will talk to you soon. Love you much.
Do you feel the light? Do you feel the light? Do you feel the light coming? Do you feel the light?